Very good afternoon, thanks for clicking on to the Monday edition of Vogan's European Outlook. Looking at the 10 HPA temperatures over the Arctic region, you can see here the blues indicating a re-strengthening, regrouping of the stratospheric polar vortex. So it has significantly strengthened in recent times. And looking at this, that would certainly indicate that we're going to start to lower the heights over the Arctic region finally and raise the heights further south here. So that essentially in essence would indicate more Pacific and Atlantic influence throughout the hemisphere at the middle altitudes. So is winter in a sense declared over? That remains to be seen. The overall picture certainly would indicate that we are certainly waving goodbye to the coldest part of winter across not only Europe but also across the hemisphere generally. But that is, I don't know if it's quite as simple as that. This is the Arctic Oscillation. Of course, it's been very, very negative. It tanked here in the last week and is projected to go positive here. The North Atlantic Oscillation is projected to go positive here, as you can see, and that certainly would coincide with the warming that we're seeing at the moment here. So this is the week 1 temperatures of the CFSV2, very warm compared to normal. We could in fact be talking about temperatures as high as 17 or 18 Celsius in the coming days. Bitterly colder. That was the air mass that was over us just a few days ago. Now been shunted east into southeastern Europe, so Greece and Turkey under the gun of heavy snowfall and of course bitterly cold air. But what's interesting here is, despite the fact that the Arctic Oscillation and the North Atlantic Oscillation is projected to go positive, the CFSV2 weeklies does see cold coming back. So you can see here, this is week 2 of the CFSV2, which takes us between the 22nd of February and the 1st of March. And you can see here the cold over Eastern Europe never really leaves the playing field, but in fact actually starts to see the cold back and westwards once again here. And certainly by week 3, it indicates a fairly chilly pattern once again, and easterly winds also here. So that is certainly very interesting to see. And then the model, as we go through the second half of March, indicates that we start to see warmer air building into the western half of Europe here. So despite the fact that we're going to see some distinctly spring-like warmth, in fact even today it's felt really quite pleasant indeed, even in a t-shirt. Temperatures of 8 or 9 degrees here in Invergordon, factoring in the last few days of wind chills well below freezing, and nights of course at their lowest levels on record for the month of February. Certainly did feel very pleasant indeed out there today. So it certainly is very easy to kind of just write off winter, but despite all the parameters indicating a point towards an early spring, that is not necessarily the case. And quite often after a bitterly cold spell, you do sometimes see these significant surges of spring warmth, but that is then a false sense of spring, because quite often we do get another last gasp blast of winter weather here, and certainly the CFSV2 weekly is indicating that. Looking at the CFS for the month of March, generally speaking, this is the latest run of the CFSV2, and you can see here that it has a mean positive over the British Isles, the trough well over into the far east of Europe and into Western Asia here. But if you actually go back, the modelling has been shifting that mean high from Greenland. If you notice here, looking back on the 12th of February, the run, you can see here that it had a negative North Atlantic Oscillation kind of look to it, which would support somewhat of the weeklies that we're seeing at the moment. But the latest runs have been kind of shifting that ridge further east over into the British Isles here. So certainly a lot of things. I don't think winter's over yet, folks, so I would not necessarily put away the heavy jackets, the hats, scarves and gloves just yet. But at least winter is on its way out, so to speak. Nights are getting longer, and days are getting well, should I say, I've got that round the wrong way. In fact, nights are getting shorter and days are getting longer. It's been a long day. Hope you have a great day, and I'll be back in the next couple of days with more. Bye for now.